This is investment tanking with the Type 62, a Tier 7 Chinese scout. While not an endangered species, the Type 62 is still a pretty rare tank. It's only been given away at special events, as a prize, or at the end of a marathon mission, making them not entirely common in public games. For all intents and purposes, the Type 62 is a Woozy 131 without the top gun, 20 fewer hit points, and 4 less horsepower per tonne. But that's about where the similarities end. To compensate, the Type has been given a large boost to terrain resistance and gun handling soft stats, all in all making it, in my opinion, one of the most purebred scout tanks in the game. Then factor in that this gets the premium credit bonus and the experience boost, and you'll find your Bulldogs and LTTBs gathering dust in the garage. Being a light tank, the armour is never very impressive and stays identical to the Woozy 131. The hull has 35 frontally and 20 on the sides and rear, while the turret gets a slightly better 45mm frontally with 35 on the side and 20 on the rear. The turret is also very well sloped, slightly spherical, and in practice can pull off some impressive bounces if you get lucky. The terrain resistances are among the best in the game, and they make the Type a formidable opponent on all surfaces, causing very little decrease in speed or acceleration regardless of what you're driving on. And what a lot of people don't realise is that the Type can also double as a submarine to take out nautical threats. In all seriousness though, being able to not drown when that deep with an injured driver is a testament to the Type's terrain passability and allows idiots like me to drive it without dying. The hull and turret traverse remain the same as on the WZ-131, being 54 degrees and 48 degrees respectively, allowing the Type to traverse the tip of its gun barrel a full 365 degrees in 3.5 seconds. The accuracy is fairly good at 0.37 at 100 meters, but where the Type excels are its soft gun stats, where it receives a much lighter penalty for traversing its turret than the WZ-131. The end result is a payload of 180 average alpha damage delivered with a mediocre 145mm AP penetration. But just in case you get desperate, there is always a 220mm pen heat round. I tend to carry 15 but never end up firing the heat. It just feels nice just in case you're left alone in a tier 10 game with low health mouse. Finally with the gun, its base reload is around 5.5 seconds without equipment and aims in just under 2.3 seconds. The top speed is 60 forwards and 23 in reverse with a power to weight of just over 20, meaning you'll have no trouble relocating to deal with the less than impressive -5 degrees of gun depression, as seen here. As for how it plays in each tier, 1. You'll never be top tier. It's a scout and you'll mostly see tiers 8 to 10, even though you're a tier 7. 2. In tier 8, you're a threatening medium tank with phenomenal mobility. Flank around as much as you can, and you can afford to be aggressive when needed. 3. In tier 9, it still pays to be aggressive, but do it with a wolf pack of tanks. You have 880 health, so you're rather vulnerable to the high alpha enemies out there. And 4. In tier 10, stay back. Yes, you are a scout tank, but the tier 10 mediums have a lot more health, more firepower, and more view range than you. That's most important. Use your time to hold back, find a weakness, and destroy enemies when they're not looking at you. Become a scavenger, finishing off low health targets. You're not meant to carry a tier 10 game. Just present as many opportunities to your team as possible. Put cap pressure on by sneaking through. Eliminate arty to dampen the enemy's firepower. Just cause hell. I found owning the Type 62 made me a better light player across all the nations. It's such an accumulation of philosophies between designs. The poor gun depression really teaches you to flank and to be in the right place at the right time. The camo is excellent, and brilliant for practicing your passive scouting or doing spotting missions. To me, there is no true downside to the tank. There is no such thing as a possible bad enemy team. You're always capable to make a difference and change the course of a battle. And that is why this is one of my favourite premium tanks. You forget it's a premium. You play it for the fun and the challenge and harvesting delicious salty tears of the enemies. Ooh, it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Also, this is probably as close as I'll ever get to owning a Type 59. It was designed to be a downscaled and downgunned Type 59. It shares the same module weaknesses and placements, supposedly the ammo rack at the rear of the turret, although I find it doesn't tend to get damaged so often. And as far as credit earnability goes, I've noticed that it's roughly 36,000 credits for every 1,000 damage done. So you can grind credits while padding your WN8. What's not to love? So, is it a good tank? Well, good damage, workable penetration, great platform? Yes it is. And is it worth having? It's just so much fun. It's a Woozy 131 that makes loads of Wonga, and it's rare. I'd say get it if you can. It's a worthy addition to anyone's collection, and very few regrets are ever to be had. Other than that, I just say spend more gold and keep tanking.